with your eyes closed, get as comfortable as you're able to get in the seat that you're in. And then connect with your breathing. Connect with your aliveness. Connect with your status on earth as a living, breathing human being with your independence of thought, feeling, action, and creativity. As always, I am describing you, not altering you with my words. The description of you as a living, breathing human being with your originality matches how others might gaze upon you. Too often your self-concept just might have been a bit out of date. It might have originated from childhood or adolescence or when you were a student or an apprentice at your craft. But at this point in your life, you can trust your own judgment, your own thoughts, your own sense of beauty and truth, your own sense of good and bad, and your own sense of aesthetics. Now we're going to go through a process of intentional relaxation. First, bring your attention to your eyelids and let your eyelids become soft and loose and relaxed to the point where they don't work. And when you feel like your eyelids are so soft they don't work, give them a test. See that your eyelids have that softness. When you think you've got it, send that softness all of the way down to the very, very bottoms of your feet. And where you feel your body respond to your ask for more softness in the muscles, it's because you are your body's guardian. It is a dependent, and your body depends on you to assess where you can relax, where you can breathe, and where you're already good enough. Then bring your attention to your eyelids again. Let's feel that relaxation spread in a slower wave now, down your cheeks, and down to the muscles of your mouth and your jaw. Feel that softness spread further down into your neck, through the muscles of your neck, all of the way down into your shoulders. Give particular attention to the muscles of your neck and shoulders, because sometimes your neck and shoulders most need to understand that you can relax here, and there is no impact to brace for. You can rest here when there's no shoe that's about to drop. Here, you can feel safe being safe, original, thoughtful, and creative. Here, your thoughts, your feelings, your vision, your opinions, your values, your taste all matter. Then send that softness from your shoulders down your arms, down your biceps and triceps, into your forearms and into your hands. Then send the softness further down into your hips. Feel the muscles of your lower body begin to join in with the muscles of your upper body. And then all of you can soften and relax. All of you can loosen. Then feel that relaxation spread down further through the muscles of your legs. All of the way down past your knees, into your calves and your ankles and your feet. from head to toe, your body is listening. It's listening rather well to your request for softness and comfort. And that's because you are the highest authority over you. You are the one who owns and commands you. It is from you that original thought and vision and ideas will spring. Truly, you've become the author of your life and the author of your work. As always, I describe you, I don't alter you. I describe you as the thinking, original human being who's evident from out here. Where I contradict earlier life lessons from childhood or adolescence, we must understand that that was a very long time ago. Only an apprentice or a student submits their work asking, is it good enough? Please grade me. Do you like it? After some time, you're no longer a student. You're no longer merely an apprentice. In any area where you've gained what we'll call mastery, you can trust your own eye, you can trust your own ear, you can trust your own judgment. It's not because your eye, ear, and judgment are perfect or universally agreeable. It's that your eye, your ear, your judgment are about as good as anybody else with your level of training and experience. If it's good enough for another to trust their own judgment, then you have everything you need to trust yours. Now, imagine you're in a gigantic, plush elevator. As you hear me count down, the elevator's going to take you deeper than this. 10. Then you're going deeper. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Here, the elevator stops, the doors open, and you're in a head space here, where it's easier to hear you, your capabilities, and your mastery described. It was a long time ago when you would look at the teacher or you would look at a parent and think that they were the final arbiter of taste and good judgment and truth and worth. Today you are among the adults. Your judgment is adult judgment. Your taste is an adult's taste. Your thoughts, your opinions, your hopes, dreams, and values are all those of an adult. And that's why you can ask yourself, does it please me? Do I like it? Do I judge it good enough? And the answers come from an adult's mind. Here, we must set aside the inner critic, that inner voice of cynicism and negativity that gives not truth and good taste, but fault-finding, cynicism, pessimism, negativity. There is little use for fault-finding, pessimism, or negativity in the endeavor of creation. The world is created by those who've asked, what have I got? And what can I do with all that I've got? The world is created by the optimists who understood if they put in time, thought, and energy, it's gonna pay off. Bands are started by optimists. Novelists are optimists when they put the first word on the first page. Entrepreneurs must be optimists. Even investors must be optimists. This world is created by those who understood that they can act today for a better future. Your favorite records and books and films were created by those who understood they could act and receive the reward later. They could see their work published or their fans gathered in the future. It makes it worthwhile for you to begin doing your work, asking yourself what you wish to say to the world, what you deem worthy, truthful, beautiful, or otherwise meritorious. Your inner critic is useless at that endeavor when it gives you fault-finding, cynicism, pessimism, none of which can put the first brushstroke on a canvas or write the first word in a poem. One must appreciate the tree, the sunset, the bird, and then one can put the first brushstroke on a canvas or write the first word in a poem. As one who is creative, you can appreciate the goodness and the beauty in the world around you and the goodness that's within you, too. You must appreciate the talents that you have, the skills you have, the knowledge that you have. The sculptor never has to envy the painter, and the painter doesn't have to envy the musician, and the musician doesn't have to envy the sculptor. If each human being has their own talents, knowledge, and life path, you have yours. Your glass is half full. Looking at the talent you've developed, looking at what you've produced in the past, looking at the trajectory of your learning, your talent development, and your career, you are the latest, greatest, most mature version of you who's ever existed. That's why all the thoughts from childhood, from being a student or being new to a craft, are now suspect. Many are no longer relevant. Some weren't even relevant back then. The master trusts his own eye. He asks himself, do the colors please me? Do I like the composition? Even the patron of the arts supports the artist's own judgment. In everything that you've been practicing, you can trust your judgment not because it's perfect, but because it is trained. It's good enough for this phase in your life today. Even if it'll be better in the future, it is presently good enough for this phase, just like a year ago it was good enough for 1 year ago. And 5 years ago, your judgment was good enough for 5 years ago. Being born into a species of lifelong learners and the originators of new ideas and visions and the most creative of all creatures on earth means that you too were born with a brain that's capable of creating originally. Your brain has intelligence, real intelligence, the real deal. The genuine article, not the kind that is emulated in data centers, but the kind that has produced every one of your favorite musicians, writers, and creators. When it comes to you and your work, you're the highest authority. In the world out here, you're an equal to others in the dog park, others at the supermarket, others in line to vote at election time. But when it comes to matters pertaining to your thoughts, your vision, your opinions, your psyche, your creations, and your work, you have authority. Others have opinions. Others have thoughts. Even the most brilliant and well-loved books, albums, and movies somehow have one-star reviews on the internet from people who can't appreciate the art form or who were dragged in to see it. Your inner critic is a rube, not an appreciator of your craft. An art gallery doesn't need someone saying, "My 5-year-old could have painted that Jackson Pollock." A poetry reading doesn't need a cynic at the back who's sniping at those who dare take the microphone, and your psyche does not need any inner critic. So let us construct an imaginary box, a kind of prison for your inner critic, and we're going to label it Devil's Advocate, has no taste, not your conscience, not a truth teller, do not believe. And we're going to make room in your head and heart for thoughts that appreciate beauty, and thoughts that love truth, and thoughts that seek to make this world slightly better because you exist in it, and you can act upon the world with your hands and your words and your thoughts and your plans. You have a lot of use for thoughts that plan for success and completion. You have much use for all your thoughts that wish to make this world better organized, more comfortable, or simply more delightful to be in. But you have little or no use for thoughts that snipe, thoughts that find fault, thoughts that are cynical and pessimistic. The thoughts that have you completing your work are thoughts that prepare you for completion and success. Thoughts that get novels published and paintings exhibited are thoughts that can appreciate beauty and goodness in this world. You have much use for these thoughts that ask, where is the light the best? What is worth representing? What is joyous? What is beautiful? What is lovely? What is deeply human? What is most life-affirming? So answer these questions. Whatever answers come from the depths of your psyche are of use to you. The work of an artist, after all, is to delve deeply into your psyche and surface with some aspect of humanity to hold up to others and say, I've looked, I've resurfaced. If you've felt this too, if you've experienced this too, you are one of us human beings. You are not alone. You are not an atomized individual. If I have found this deep within my psyche and you can find it deep within yours, then we are all members of the same species. We are all human. 20,000 people can dance to exactly the same drum beat. 100 people can be moved by the same poetry reading, even if 100 different people take something slightly different from that reading. 1 million people can watch the same film and feel a similar kind of hope or joy or validation as every other one of the 1 million people. And it underscores our humanity. When you're doing the work of an artist, you're the one surfacing an aspect of your humanity, something in your mind's eye, something deep in your heart, something you find beautiful, something you find good or truthful, so that others might gaze upon it and contemplate it, so that their humanity, at least that aspect of their humanity, can be validated. To the artist, all thoughts, feelings, and visions are the raw material for art. Your inner critic is useless because there's no bad feeling. It's all the raw material for art. Every life event, every weird thought could be turned into a poem, a story, a film. None of it is bad in the realm of art if all of it is human, if all of it faithfully represents something truthful or something beautiful or something that an artist deems meritorious, then it's all the raw material for art. More and more, you can value your thoughts, hopes, goals, dreams, your visions for a better world, your values, your principles. These are all aspects of your humanity that comprise the substance that your work is made of. It's all worthy of contemplation, and where you deem fitting, it's worthy for expression. Every single one of your feelings is a human feeling, felt at least at times by each of the other 8 billion people on Earth. Every thought you have is an adult thinking a human thought. None of it is totally inhuman. None of it is bestial or robotic. All of it is the raw material for art. Even the deep, dark thoughts and feelings that many civilized individuals shy away from are the raw material for art. More and more you can gaze upon your psyche, think your thoughts, feel your feelings, and none of it is unacceptable. None of it is bad. It's all fair game for self-expression. Certainly a group of poets, a group of painters, a group of filmmakers can definitely appreciate your humanity, even if in the past certain teachers or certain friends did not. You can delegate editing to editors. It's an entirely other profession than a creator or an artist to look for a fault and to whittle a piece down. When you're a creator, when you're an artist, your role is not to judge. Your role is to create and to self-express. All your humanity is as complete and total as the humanity of someone like Shakespeare or Goethe or Mozart. You are 100% a living human being with access to 100% of a human mind and 100% of the human psyche. Even thoughts that many people consider shameful or bad or too enraged or too lustful are, to an artist, the stuff you're going to make your art out of. To a chef, there's no bad flavor. A chef can find a place for a sour flavor and a bitter flavor. To the painter, there's no bad color. There's a place for mustard yellow and olive green. To a musician, there's no bad chord or note. There's a place for it all. To a poet, there's no bad word. All words have a place. To a human being making art, there's no bad feeling. There's no bad idea. There's some ideas that might not make it into the final piece, but none of it is bad or shameful. None of it automatically deserves criticism or rejection or scorn. All of it is acceptable for thinking, feeling. All of it is acceptable for expressing. The artist who has integrity will self-express authentically what they think, what they feel, what they believe, and what matches their vision. The authority to the artist with integrity is him or herself, not a judge, a teacher, a parent, a gallery owner, a curator. To the artist with artistic integrity, his or her own eye is the arbiter of whether the work is complete, or whether the work is good, or whether the work represents their inner vision. To the musician with artistic integrity, they're going to trust their own ear much more than a focus group if they're not going to sell out. You can also trust your own eye, trust your own ear, trust your own judgment, which are those of an artist of your current level of sophistication. Now, I know in 5 years you'll be more sophisticated, but you are more sophisticated today than 5 years ago. What you have today is good enough to begin creating, to begin self-expressing and building. It doesn't have to be perfect, as though any movie has 10 stars on IMDb or any book has 5 stars on Amazon if it's been released beyond just the creator's friends and family. Because there will be cynics and pessimists in the world. So be it. Delegate pessimism to pessimists. Delegate cynicism to cynics. Delegate fault-finding for people who have the perverse desire to find fault in art. Your role as a creator is to create, and in accordance with your vision. Criticism that has merit must begin with appreciation for the art form. The rube walking around saying, "My 5-year-old could have painted that," is not an art critic. The art critic is the one looking at a piece for 10 minutes, trying to appreciate and comprehend the work before forming an opinion. The movie critic watches the whole movie as closely as possible. The literary critic does a close reading of the text. Legitimate criticism starts with appreciation for the art form and for the work, even the genre. Whatever the cynic, the pessimist, or your inner critic have been giving to you is not criticism. It's just useless fault-finding. But the classroom doesn't need a bully. The gallery doesn't need a rube. Your psyche is better off without your inner critic commenting on what you are trying to create. Even an actual book or movie critic will appreciate the work, or at least make an effort to appreciate the work before commenting on it. If the work deserves their criticism, it follows from their appreciation for the art form and the genre and what the artist might have made instead. You must appreciate your capacity to create and to create well, to have deeply human thoughts, feelings, and visions, to be able to move the hearts and minds of others with your self-expression. And from that place, you can self-express authentically. You might not hit the mark of pleasing every critic, because there are many with different tastes. But you can hit the mark of pleasing yourself, pleasing your own eye, pleasing your own ear, pleasing your own artistic integrity that says, this might not be to everyone's taste, but it's a faithful representation of the vision that I had inside my head. Fine art isn't to everyone's taste. World cuisines aren't to everyone's taste. Your favorite restaurant has 1-star reviews from people who complain about the portion sizes. It's okay to satisfy yourself before satisfying critics. It's okay to meet your own standards and to care less about every opinion. The cool thing about meeting your own standards is you're never the only person with an eye like yours, or an ear like yours, or taste and judgment like yours. If you appreciate the genre and you've created something that fits the genre and it pleases you, others will appreciate the same. If you've created something and it pleases you, and you're in possession of the human ear, it'll sound at least harmonious, at least pleasant to other human ears. This is how a work created, let's say, by an Englishman 400 years ago could be adapted to the screen in the 21st century, halfway around the world, in a very different culture, and be deeply resonant psychologically. This is how we might gaze upon Persian painting from 1,000 years ago, and there's something in it that resonates with us modern human beings. The thing that resonates is our shared humanity. Art has reminded you that you are not an atomized individual. You're a member of the human species. Let your art remind others that they're not atomized individuals. What you have found beautiful, they find beautiful. There must be something you have in common. What you find tasteful, they find tasteful. They're not alone. What you think is worth representing, they're happy to see represented. The world needs its artists to create, to self-express. Someone has to do a deep dive into the human psyche and resurface with an aspect of humanity that's often maybe repressed or shamed or put aside. But if it's represented on a canvas, onto a screen, into an album, even in a hypnotherapy session, then all those who gaze upon the work can feel that aspect of their humanity underlined and highlighted. The rock star who rages makes our rage valid. The actor who cries on screen makes our sadness not a personal flaw anymore, but a feature of our humanity. When you create something in this world that makes this world a little bit more human, a little bit more connected, a little bit more beautiful, you're doing the work of an artist. You can relinquish thoughts that prepare for criticism and fault-finding, because there are other people who can fault-find better than you can. There are other people who will be cynical and pessimistic far better than you can be. When you're a creator, your role is to imagine a better future that you're helping to shape between now and then. You can absolutely take inspiration from your favorite artists and your favorite creators, because none of them was superhuman. All of them was or is 100% a human being with only one human brain, with only one life, with only about 16 waking hours in one day, and yet they produced all that they did. They produced their body of work not with their inner critic, but with their appreciation for truth and beauty, and their trust of their own judgment and their own eye or ear. They created by preparing for success and completion, so you will too. Now feel all of this sink in. As always, I've described you, only today I've described you as an artist, as a creator who self-expresses something they find beautiful, something they find tasteful or good, so that others who've not done that work can benefit from your self-expression. As it all sinks in, that this too is who you are. You'll hear me count up. As I count, begin to bring your attention outward, feel energy return. 1. Become aware of where your hands and feet and body are resting. Become aware of every breath which brings increasing energy into your system. 2. Notice how the music now fades. Become aware of where you are and what time of day it must be, and all that you have planned right after this session's over. And when you look forward, you can see yourself creating with your appreciation for what's good and beautiful and truthful in your head and heart. And then with your work, you're helping to shape the world so it more closely resembles the vision that started in your heart and mind. You'll surface aspects of your humanity as you do so, and that's your work as an artist. 3. Then become more aware, more alert to everything else going on around you. 4. Then feel a huge wave of energy go from the very bottoms of your feet all of the way up to the very top of your head, making you feel refreshed, making you feel energized, and making you feel good in every way. Because you are you, and you have all that you have, including the talent that you have, and the vision that you have, and the ideas that you have, the adulthood that you have that makes it so. You can ask yourself if it pleases you. Bring all of this into the world out here, and 5, let it sink in, and then open your eyes to return fully back to the room out here.